Welcome back. You got Will and I-Man here from the Block Runner MetaZone in Rovi, and today we're going to talk about Trustless Computer.
You almost said Trustless Machine, didn't you?
I almost did.
Because it sounds cooler.
It does sound cooler.
But Trustless Computer is pretty cool too. But as we said, I think last week, man, we've been going deep down the BRC20 hole, and then there's so many different like competing potential, I guess, attempts at standardizing like fungibility and smart contract utility, things like this that never really was utilized on Bitcoin before, but now is like the new thing.
Yeah, this is all thanks to the Taproot upgrade that happened in November 2021.
Yeah.
And it was being discussed early, like June, July 2021, and then it got finalized in November. So
yeah. And then coincidentally, like everything tanked.
Yeah.
As it was implemented, I guess.
Yeah, this was a soft fork. And so once it was implemented in November 2021, that was the peak of Bitcoin. Yeah.
Of the last bull cycle.
That's right.
Now, I don't know if that's just one big coincidence or maybe like some whales orchestrated like a, I don't know, like a hedge or like in case of some sort of technical fault.
Yeah.
For bringing in some new like, upgrade or, whatever, this Taproot thing.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe I believe in my core of course that there are handfuls of actors in this space that can move markets like that.
Yeah, I think so.
I think they
would
exist.
agree.
So maybe that's what actually catalyzed the downturn.
But they must be paying like really close attention to Bitcoin then, because I feel like the Taproot upgrade wasn't. I guess because it wasn't so contested like SegWit.
Yeah, that was like a full-on war.
That was a war. Yeah, that was a civil war.
Those were hard forks.
Yeah.
Which potentially could be an outcome to all this like new data, because I'm pretty sure there's some of these whales that don't like what's happening, and then there are that do. Right. Yeah. That seems like a good grounds for a hard forking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why not, dude? But I don't know. We haven't gotten there yet. This whole market has BRC20 already did a lot of damage. Not damage, but made a lot of noise.
Yeah.
The market cap blew up, exploded like in a few weeks, got to about $1 billion.
Yeah.
In new value created on top of Bitcoin. And then now we are about to look into Trustless Computer, which is one of many new competing like I don't even know, layer 1s, layer 2s.
Like ecosystems.
Just like leeches to Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So who knows? Once all these things kind of like get off the ground and like they start, attracting core communities and developers and stuff, man.
Yeah.
We're talking a renaissance explosion on Bitcoin.
Yeah, you're talking about everything that happened on Ethereum happening on Bitcoin.
Right. Maybe even to a bigger scale.
Maybe bigger, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the liquidity on Bitcoin is twice as expansive as on Ethereum, right?
And Bitcoin is very simple.
Extremely. So what is this Trustless Computer? So we said this week we're going to look into it, see if there's any validity behind their claims. So we first heard about it, that they're deploying smart contracts on Bitcoin.
That's right.
That was the big like headline grabber, right?
Yeah, and as headline grabbers as they are, they're on the landing page of Trustless.market. So the first smart contracts deployed on Bitcoin, they run exactly as programmed without any possibility of fraud.
Phew, that's good to know that. Okay.
Yeah. Or third-party interference or censorship.
Okay.
Issue your smart BRC20 on Bitcoin for virtually anything cryptocurrency, a share in a company, voting rights, and a DAO, and more.
A share in a company is definitely a little sketch to be promoting.
Yeah.
That is definitely a security
I think any possibility of fraud may also be a little sketch.
Yeah, why inject that little tidbit of info in there?
I agree.
Okay, so once again, before we get any deeper, disclaimer of all disclaimers.
This is another one of those big disclaimers.
We're going to be making a lot of these, it seems like, in the near future.
Yeah.
Like, purely entertainment here.
Yeah.
Only entertainment value.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. This is definitely not investment advice to any degree.
Yes.
However, it is very interesting.
And entertaining.
Indeed.
That's right.
So let's get into this. So, all right, the first one to look at really here is we have an entire market of these new type of BRC20s. So here's where it gets confusing.
Yeah.
We have the BRC20s that we spoke about in the previous videos, right? That's like from the ordinal inscriptions and all that.
Yeah.
And so it's called BRC20. But on Trustless Computer, they're also called BRC20s.
Yeah.
But they hold no standardization where they're interoperable between each
Correct.
network.
Yeah, one was deployed by Domo, the original BRC20s,
Right.
like basically an NFT that keeps a log of like your balances.
Yeah.
And then you have to inscribe additional NFTs just to even like move them around. So it's a whole different process, a whole different like, technical framework
Yeah.
of how to have like some sort of fungible ecosystem, finalized on Bitcoin.
Right. Right.
And it's appreciated, it's being utilized, people are developing with it now. So this is a whole different like architecture,
right.
but with the same name.
Yeah.
So that's a little, I don't know. I doubt anybody's going to surrender claim to this name because there's a lot of value in the BRC20 name, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So having said that, so hopefully it makes sense that if you buy any of these tokens, you can't just go and sell it on Unisat or any of the...
Yeah, they're not ordinals.
Yeah, they're not.
Mm-hmm. But they look a lot like how when we first discovered the original BRC20s, this is basically what we're looking at.
Look at the market caps here, right? 174,000, 84,000.
Oh, that's the volume.
Oh, sorry. What was it? Market cap, 158,000, 60,000.
Like, these are nothing burgers of market caps.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking dust of all dusticles.
Hold on. So let me order by market cap just to see what's going on here. Oh, so they have Ethereum on here.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they got, other layers, I guess. So the TC ones are the ones you want to be looking at, because that's Trustless Computers, like, environment. You know what I mean?
I wonder why they included everything, though.
I don't know. It's a good question. But yeah, we're strictly looking at TC here.
Bitcoin TC.
So BUT is the #1 TC coin at the moment.
Yeah.
They're going to look like little eggs.
That's exactly what it looks like, dude.
We got Naka Pepe. We got the usual suspects, the Pepe, the meme.
The meme, yeah.
Typical shit, right? Same thing we saw with BRC20s. In the beginning, it's just meme coins.
Right.
And largely still is mostly meme coins.
Yeah.
But we're starting to see, semblances of utility attempts like we were covered last week,
Check this out, dude. Trustless Computer Developers, Dev. What is that? 9 billion?
That's definitely flawed. That's a miscalculation if I ever seen one.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, there's definitely an error.
They're making a killing.
Yeah.
Look at the one below it.
And the volume is 13,000.
Well, that's USDC actually on Ethereum. Like, that's actually legit.
Yeah, I couldn't see with the camera.
Oh, okay.
But even the volume here,
right,
it's inaccurate. So again, so we can't trust everything that we see here, even the market caps or anything like that. However, we're going to talk about the technology and what it is and the implications for something like this.
Yeah.
All right. So one thing that's happening is if you click on the hashtag here and you order it by the actual ID,
correct,
you got good morning. So I was like, okay, let's check this out.
Yeah, this is their first deployed, BRC20 essentially. Right. Kind of like Ordi token was the first BRC20 on the Ordinals network.
Right. And it says here, 3 days, 7 hours, the GM, the first smart contract on Bitcoin crowdfunding campaign is live. So I was like, what is this? So I click on it. It takes me to this page. And we have changes coming. Bitcoin's the new home for dApps and smart contracts. And it looks like they are crowdfunding for the GM
launch.
token.
It's like a typical token generation event you would expect during any Ethereum bull cycle, right? We saw this with IDOs. We saw this with ICOs. This is very familiar stuff. And so you can interpret this in a few different ways, right? As oh, what a nice showcase of their smart contracts, right? You can't do this with ordinal BRC20s, at least not yet.
Right.
But, wow, very functional, very utility.
Yeah, in comparison, right?
Yeah, much dev here, right? So that's one interpretation. Another is holy fuck, these guys are just raking it in, and this is scary potentially. These guys could literally just 2.5 million has been sent to them.
Yeah.
So it's not going back out.
Yeah, let me explain how this works.
Okay.
So we're having total contributors 2,700.
Yeah.
2.5 million total raise, ends in 67 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out exactly what's happening. So this guy contributed 100K.
Oof.
And so what's happening here is that he's getting a proportional allocation of the max cap
Yeah.
Well, 80% of the max cap.
80% of the token supply, right? GM,
Yeah.
which I think is 10,000 tokens.
It's 10,000 tokens.
So 8,000 of their 10,000 will be distributed accordingly to like the participants of pooled financials.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so this kind of jumps in with no context, but I'll explain that later. So Tokenomics 10,000, 80% crowdfund, 10% reserved for listings, bridges, and 10% for the developers.
So basically 20% for the team, the foundational organization that's setting all this up.
Yeah.
Has built the infrastructure, the framework to this whole trustless computer ecosystem. 20% to them, 80% to the community.
Yeah, and if you're coming from Ethereum, which most likely you are,
yeah,
this is pretty standard,
roughly-ish. Yeah, usually teams get like 20%, and then like I don't know, another 20% usually to investors.
Investors, yeah,
and then the rest goes to the community. Right. So this is again, it all depends on your interpretation, right? This is actually like. This has been happening on Ethereum for a couple of cycles now, and as a result, we have an active market.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So let's go just a little bit deeper in this rabbit hole. So how to buy GM, right? Step 1: enter your Trustless Computer wallet. So you need a TC wallet, so you can create one here. And this is step number 2. It says send any amount of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Pepe, or Turbo. You can send them from any wallet to the wallets provided below, which are uniquely generated for you. And if you want to increase contribution, just send more tokens.
Wowzers.
Right. So once I get my wallet,
sense.
I can actually send it to here. And then step 3, at the end of the crowdfunding campaign, 80% of the GM token supply will be distributed proportionally to you.
Wow. Okay, so this is
so another interpretation here could be is like, oh, well, here's a kind of like a positive interpretation is that the only way to get actual BRC20 from this network is you have to send them Ethereum assets.
Yeah.
And since Ethereum assets are on a different network than BRC20, they have to have like this middle ground of like, send me tokens first and I'll send you assets later.
Yeah.
So that's a positive take. The not so positive take is send me assets now and I'll send you assets later.
Yeah.
And maybe it happens.
But that's the case with all, I guess, like token generation events, I guess. I don't know. It's
I think you could do this via smart contracts.
True.
Where it's like 1-for-1 automatically. Which is a standard ICO sale, dude. It's a standard. You set a price, people buy it at that price, and hopefully it goes up. I mean,
basically there's a lot of risk, obviously, with this. Like, a lot of risk.
Yeah.
Right. So, but still, like if you do your deep dive into the technicals of what it is, which we're about to do, what Trustless Computer enables, like why this has any value in the first place. If you agree with what it is they propose, as far as like they're leveraging Taproot in a way that nobody else has yet.
Yeah.
And they're trying to incorporate some sort of computational logic into like this system and still not disrupt, Bitcoin entirely.
Yeah.
If you agree with this premise, and if you I don't know, I would recommend actually getting in the Discord, seeing how the devs communicate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then I could see why this would be attractive. As far as like a bet, because the Ordi token did like a freaking 10,000x.
Yeah.
But it didn't come out with a market cap like this, right? Like essentially, this is the existing market cap.
Correct.
Right, 2.5 million.
Yeah.
So yeah, as far as like ups, like by the end of this will probably be like 5 to 10 mil. I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll find out. Yeah. But what's happening here in this BRC20 kind of ecosystem is it's fulfilling what a lot of people were postulating about Bitcoin and the velocity of Bitcoin. And it even talks about it here in the explanation of Taproot. It says, as Bitcoin scales and becomes more efficient at processing transactions, the chances increases that it will become an effective medium for transactions. In the past, Bitcoin's worth at a store of value has been tied to its utility. Therefore, it is conceivable that Bitcoin's worth will increase as the number of useful transactions on its network increases.
Well, yeah, of course, dude. That's like the same as like Ethereum, right?
Yeah.
The value of Ethereum goes up as more transactions are being pushed through. And
because the burn rate goes up, and so now it's deflationary.
Correct.
Yeah, so ultimately here, after the 21 million tokens are generated from Bitcoin's network, there's no more reward to send to the miners, and now you're left with just transaction fees.
Yeah, which is a big dilemma for the future, right? This is like a global warming type thing. It's like that you could see it, but it's not like present yet.
Yeah.
So like people aren't reacting. So you can like kick the can down the road until this thing becomes a big issue, but
Yeah.
or you could be preemptive and start to create, these additional value mechanisms
Sure.
and create real fees for the miners in preparation of this dilemma, right? Where there's no longer an incentive to secure the network.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned global warming because
Yeah.
it's like enough of a far way out problem where you don't necessarily have to worry about it today.
Yeah.
However, Munib, the guy from Stacks, he says that we got about roughly 10 years before we figure it out, because by that time, the halving event will have such a little effect that it's very difficult for Bitcoin to double every single halving after that point. So 10 years is not that long.
Yeah, and you're banking on some of the biggest like macro events to
Yeah.
fall in line with your thesis in order to like continue on that value proposition.
Yeah.
We're talking like things that have never happened in humanity before have to come to fruition for Bitcoin to have a human level consensus. Like this is it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a pretty big bet to make, and I think this is a good plan B, but which should be plan A on how to actually have a real value proposition for humanity to tap into and recognize, like, oh man, this is real. This is really valuable. We should support this.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah. So we were going through their documentation, and there's
a little layout scheme. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, the architecture is relatively straightforward. So they have what they call a BVM. So
similar to an EVM, right?
Similar to an EVM. And so when a transaction occurs by a user, it goes to the local mempool of this network, right?
Okay.
It's your mempool is your competition of fees against others to see which one gets logged into the block, right?
So this mempool is a separate like node ecosystem, right?
Yes.
Which they have different purpose than the Bitcoin mempool, like, as far as transactions that they're processing or accepting and validating. Okay.
So now that we're talking about how everything works, now once the transaction goes into this mempool and it gets accepted, there's a valid transaction, right? So then it goes through Trustless Computer's transaction writer, and that writer is responsible for writing that information into the Bitcoin blockchain through this system of Taproot upgrade. Yeah. Right. And so once it's added, anytime you need to recall that information, the transaction reader finds it on the Bitcoin blockchain. Yeah. It imports it to the BVM block, so it figures out which block in the BVM network was it written to, and then that's how it's able to parse that information and then give you the data that you're looking for.
Yeah. Now you as the user or the DApp, whatever that's, leveraging all of this BVM activities, now you can display the relevant information to the user, and now we have activity. Yeah. We have people doing things, and then those things are being implemented on Bitcoin as a finality of transaction, right?
That's right.
Which is cool. Like, and they're leveraging all of Ethereum's like Solidity architecture and frameworks to pull this off.
That's correct.
It's not like we got to wait around for another 2 or 3 years for like a new language model to be created. And this is usable now. Like, and if you're an Ethereum developer, which a lot of people are, you can literally just port over your expertise, start creating dApps, start creating value that is going to be finalized on the #1 blockchain on the planet.
That's funny you mentioned that because they have dApp examples.
Oh, okay. I bet you they do.
Yeah. So AI deep learning is one example, and they have Bitcoin file system.
That sounds familiar.
Right? They have their own version of the Ordinals protocol. It's all written in a few lines in Solidity. Yeah. Right?
Makes sense.
They have, of course, their BRC20s, NFTs, BRC721s.
Jeez.
Artifacts, Bitcoin naming system.
Basically anything you could do on Ethereum.
Yeah.
You could do it here. Because
it's just a new network.
Right. But they've created like the middle layer to process like the transaction to the Bitcoin network and put it in the blocks and get it back out.
So crowd sales, auctions, and DAOs, and then here's how to run a node. So all this was pretty interesting, kind of read through.
Yeah, this all seems very, I mean, again, like it's interesting. It's obviously not adopted yet or like a proven model. Yeah. We don't know what the market of developers are going to do. Are they going to remain loyalists? It's like BRC20s by Domo only because it was first. Yeah. We don't care about technical superiority or anything like that. We're loyal, brah. Yeah. The market could go in that direction. Absolutely. Or they could be like, you know what?
We need more functionality.
Yeah, it's like we can't really build like, usable dApps. Yeah. Through the ordinal system. Or maybe we can, but it might take 5 to 10 years. Yeah. So let's use what we already have, and let's bring this utility to Bitcoin, and like you said, expand on this. What do you call it? The transaction velocity of
the velocity of Bitcoin. Yeah.
There you go. Let's contribute to that.
Yeah. So we got BRC20s using Trustless Computer. We have the old BRC20 from Domo, and then we have Stacks Network.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that soon. SRC20s, and I think there's an SRC21 coming out.
Yeah,
there's a lot. So obviously, this is a ripe space to compete in, right? Like, you know, leveraging Taproot and bringing in new data into the Bitcoin block space.
Yeah,
you know, that's the frontier we're on right now.
Yeah, so obviously this could be a new kind of mania here that we're seeing with Bitcoin.
Yeah,
and we don't know which technology stack is going to win here. It's just
right. The most important thing is to keep your eyes on the
on
the charts, and if you see up and to the right, you know, you're getting some indication that the market is paying attention.
Yeah, exactly.
And we got CoinDesk article. Somebody's on the CoinDesk squad is noticing.
Yeah,
you know, but I think they're misinterpreting this a little bit because it's a little confusing at first.
Yeah. So all the links will be in the description.
Yeah.
So we talked about Trustless Computer, a lot of stuff happening. Let us know if you have any questions. If you find anything that we should talk about, let us know in the comment section below.
Yeah.
And then follow us on Twitter @TheBlockRunner, @MetaZone.io, and @RoviAI, and we'll catch you in the next video.
Peace.